Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I've decided that we are going to play one of my favorite Souls games of all time, Dark Souls 3. We defeated Demon Souls. I've got another playthrough where I am playing Terraria on the PC with no commentary. I figure while I'm doing that, I can play along with this game too. I have two different playthroughs running at the same time. Hopefully you guys will enjoy it, because I've played through this game so many times, and I enjoy it every time as well. So let's get into it.
Yes, indeed.
I won't skip any cutscenes this time,
It is called Lothric,
so you guys can have some context behind the story of this game.
transitory lands of the Lords of Cinder converge. In venturing north, the pilgrims discover the truth of the old words. The fire fades, and the lords go without thrones. When the link of fire is threatened, the bell tolls, unearthing the old lords of Cinder from their graves. Aldrich, saint of the deep, Farron's undead legion, the Abyss Watchers. And the reclusive lord of the profaned capital. Yon the giant. Only in truth, the lords will abandon their thrones. And the unkindled will rise. Nameless, accursed undead, unfit even to be cinder. And so it is that ash seeketh embers.
Basically relies But one thing about this game that's pretty nice is you can randomize the faces a lot more. So they just look really weird like this. As you can see. He literally has a butthole for a face. Alright, that's perfect. I don't even need to. I was green than his body. That's very strange. But whatever. That's our character. And now we will begin Dark Souls 3. Here's our starting area, the Cemetery of Ash. All these messages on the ground are basically tutorial messages. We don't really need them. Your first taste of combat in this game. For the record, guys, I don't think we're going to be parrying enemies in this game nearly as often as we did in Demon Souls. Simply because the parry timing in this game doesn't really make any sense. It is very, like, delayed. And it's not very good, in my opinion. If you want to parry in your playthrough, that's fine. But I'm not going to be doing a whole lot of it in my playthrough. Because it is kind of difficult to do. Now, we did pick up some Ashen Estus over there. This will basically restore FP. FP is basically just like mana in this game. You can just treat it as mana. I don't know why they had to rename it to focus points. And it's basically mana. Right up here is optional. You don't have to come up here because there's an enemy up here that is kind of difficult, especially for new players. He will fuck you right up if you let him. But if you know what you're doing, you can safely dodge roll most of his attacks. And that's another cool thing in this game. If you hit an enemy enough times in this game, you can stagger them just by hitting them. And perform a riposte without the need of parrying them. That's a very cool game mechanic in this game. I love it a lot. I sort of wish Demon Souls did the same thing in the remake, but I can understand that it would have been very difficult for Bluepoint to code that into the game, since they would have had to go through like all the old coding to do that. For beating that enemy, you get a Titanite scale. Titanite scale is basically like an upgrade material that will upgrade boss weapons in this game. As far as I'm aware, that is what Titanite scales are for. Yeah, as you can see, we start with this Pyromancy outfit. It doesn't really offer that much defense. As you can see, we're only getting about 8 absorption. Absorption is basically the same. Don't pay attention to the defense stat to the left where it says I have 85 physical. Pay attention to the absorption rating, which says 8.9. What that means is I have 8.9% resistance to physical attacks. It does not mean that I have like 85% resistance like it shows on the left. That means roughly 92% of enemy damage is still going to come through without being negated. This is our Pyromancy Flame. This is the weapon that you need in order to cast Pyromancies in this game. We also start with this ring, which increases the power of Pyromancy spells, which is pretty helpful. We got a Caduceus round shield. It's pretty bad. Yeah, a lot of the shields in this game are pretty bad, so there are some good shields. I wouldn't even bother with any of those. I mean, any of the bad shields, sorry. But yeah, I guess in this part we're just gonna try to get to Firelink Shrine, beat the first boss here. Who's not even really a boss. Well, it is a boss, just not a very difficult boss, especially if you know what you're doing. The enemies down here are tougher, so watch out for that. Also got 5 firebombs there, as you can see. Now, these firebombs are going to be very useful for the tutorial boss, and you will see why. If you start as a pyromancer, you don't really need the firebombs in order to do major damage to him, because you can just cast the fireball spell that you start with. And I suppose you don't even necessarily need to take the black firebomb burial gift, because you can just get 5 normal firebombs. It's just similarly to the pine resin and black pine resin and demon souls. Black firebombs will do way more damage. So I would still recommend that you get black firebombs. You know, regardless of which class you pick. I'm trying to get this item here. There we go. This game, unlike, you know, Demon Souls, does have a jump button. If you push L3 while running, you can jump. So that's pretty handy. That's going to be pretty useful in a lot of situations in this game. I can't fucking handle that face, man. Here's our boss. Yeah, he's just sort of kneeling down. Got black tentacles coming out of him. So when you're ready to begin the fight, just remove the sword from him. Not a very good idea, in my opinion, but hey, there you go. Idix Gundyr. When you get him about halfway, he'll transform into that. That is weak to fire. Very weak to fire. As you can see. Took about 1/8 of his health with 1 firebomb. Of course, he will also do more damage, so watch out for that too. Air of fire destroyed. Ember restored. Embered and unembered form in this game is basically, if you're coming from my Demon Souls playthrough, you can basically treat that as though it is like the difference between soul form and human form. Embered form will give you more health. It'll also enable you to do like summons and PvP and shit. So yeah. It's pretty good. But there's no character tendency or world tendency in this game, so you don't have to worry about dying in embered form in this game. There's no advantage to not being in it. There is no disadvantage to being in embered form. And no risk at all, other than losing embers. And the embers that you find in this game can be treated as, like the Stone of Ephemeral Eyes, because they will put you back in embered form. Yeah, that was Idix Gundyr. He's probably got one of the coolest boss themes in this game. It's a very short fight, so I wish we could have listened to more of his music, but yeah, he's great. I actually have like a playlist of music on my phone, and there's a lot of the music in my playlist is actually from like the Souls games, like boss music and shit. It's just so good. Oh god. I forgot there was a dog here. There you go. And there you have an ember. Gain strength of flame, boosting HP until death. So as you might imagine, if you die in embered form, you will lose your embered form. Until you kill another boss or use an ember. This whole area is nice to explore. It's very chill. A lot of items to find around corners. It's great. I like it. It's a nice little area. There is an enemy over here. If you're, again, if you're a new player, I would recommend you don't do what I'm about to do. Fighting this guy can sometimes be a challenge. This is you can basically treat people like this as like black phantoms, because they're just randomly scattered throughout the world, and they are pretty much just as difficult as black phantom enemies from Demon Souls. This guy is using a weapon art. I haven't actually showed you guys what weapon art's yet. If you are two-handing your weapon and you hold L2, you can do the weapon skill. In my case, the weapon skill is the weapon skill is Warcry, which when activated will temporarily boost your attack stat in a fight. As you can see, this is why this guy is hard. He can literally two-hit you. So I think what we're gonna try to do is just cheese him. Never mind. Peace. I'm running. Here we are, Firelink Shrine. The Coiled Sword you get from beating Idix Gundyr, you just place it here. Just like that, you have your first bonfire. The equivalent of an archstone, essentially. They allow you to travel, attune spells, and burn undead bone shards. We'll get to that a little later. Yeah, and as you can see, this game doesn't use like grass healing like Demon Souls does. Instead, you get an Estus flask. Same thing with the Ashen Estus. Every time you rest at a bonfire, your Estus will be automatically refilled. So your healing items are pretty much universal healing items. You don't really have to farm for healing items in this game. So that's sort of a plus from Demon Souls. This is the first merchant in the game that you can come across. She sells a bunch of stuff, armor, weapons. We're not really going to use any of this stuff. She will sell you embers. Those can be useful, but aside from that, we don't really need her help. Over here you can find the Blacksmith. He can allow you to upgrade your weapons with Titanite shards, infuse them with like elements and different like weapon scaling, as you can see. He'll let you repair your equipment, which you're not really going to be using in this game. because you very rarely have your equipment broken in this game. You can allot Estus, so you can have like 4 Estus, or you could have 4 Ashen Estus. I think 3 and 1 is good for now. And then you can reinforce your Estus. And what that means is you can basically... Fuck, what am I trying to say? I'm fucking losing track of everything I say. Yeah, reinforce Estus means you can pretty much get more healing items, but you need to find Estus shards to do that. And this lady right here is the Firekeeper. She is the one that will let you level up. Now, leveling up is a little different in this game. Vigor is what gives you your health. Attunement gives you more mana and attunement slots. Endurance gives you stamina. Vitality is what gives you equip load. Strength, Dex, Intelligence, and Faith. These 4 stats affect weapon damage and weapon scaling. And then Luck, I believe, serves no purpose other than to increase your item discovery in this game. So I think with our first few level ups, we're going to try to get to at least 2 attunement slots for the time being. And we'll probably put the rest into Vigor and Vitality. Because I am going to try to find some better armor later on, and that armor is going to be heavier than our current armor. So yeah, when you're ready to begin the first level of the game, just select travel at this bonfire, and you can go straight to the High Wall of Lothric. This game is fantastic. I probably have just as many hours in this game as I do in Demon's Souls. Look at that view. Obviously, it doesn't look as good as any of the shit we saw in the Demon's Souls remake, but to be fair, that game was remade specifically with, like, PlayStation 5 next-gen hardware in mind. This game is basically pushing the PlayStation 4 to its limits. I mean, look at how crazy all this architecture is. It's awesome. Thing about bonfires in this game, you don't actually have to rest at them to get the checkpoint from them. So if you just tap the bonfire to light it, you will respawn at that bonfire. This game is a lot different from Demon's Souls in the fact that there are bonfires scattered throughout the whole world and all the levels. Not just one archstone, you have multiple archstones. I forgot there was a guy with a crossbow up there. We also got a guy with a great axe here. We got another guy with a halberd here. Pyromancer is fun. You get access to a pretty decent pyromancy spell right out the gate. Now, one of these enemies here that's praying will transform into a monster if you get close to him. This guy right here. But just like Eidic's Gundyr, those enemies with the abyss sludge coming out of them are very much weak to fire damage. So if you have a spell like fire, or if you have fire bombs, those enemies will go down pretty quickly. And it's pretty good. Yeah, but I'm excited to get through playing this game. It's been a while since I played Dark Souls 3. Let alone, like, record Dark Souls 3. I think this is actually my first time recording it, so it'll be a fun experience for me. And hopefully a fun experience for you guys as well. But yeah, I think that'll do it for this first part, guys. We made it past the tutorial and we got to the first area of the game. Did a little bit of enemy killing here. But yeah, I hope you guys are liking it so far. I still love this fucking character I made. His fucking face is so gross. I love it. But yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed this so far, and I'll see you next time.